Coming up in this episode of Rebel Report, UNLV Football took the field at Allegiant Stadium for a spring showcase.
We will also look at UNLV Softball, who continued its dominance in a weekend series over Utah State.
Also, we get to know Rebel Alyssa Brown, a member of the Mountain West champion Lady Rebels. All this and more on this week's episode of Rebel Report.
Welcome to Studio B on the campus of UNLV. This is the Rebel Report. I'm Jamie Boyle.
And I'm Lexi Engdahl.
Every week, we are your source for UNLV sports, including the highlights, the athletes, and the story behind them.
But we're also covering all of the major sporting events happening around Southern Nevada.
Let's begin with our top story.
Rebel Football held their spring showcase this past weekend. Reporter Jelani Watts was at Allegiant Stadium to catch all of the action.
Spring has sprung and Rebel football has begun. The Rebel scrimmage today gave us a preview of what we can expect from them this fall. UNLV hosted its annual spring football showcase at Allegiant Stadium this past weekend, with several hundred fans in attendance. This was the first chance for fans to see their beloved football team in action since spring practices began. The Rebels took the field for 90 minutes and practiced a variety of different in-game scenarios, including goal line and special team plays. Harrison Bailey, Doug Brumfield, and Matthew Getting all took reps with the first team. Despite the quarterback controversy entering the scrimmage, it was the defense that shined on Saturday, securing 2 interceptions, multiple sacks, and even blocking a field goal. Coach Arroyo showed his approval of the defense's play in his post-game comments.
It was good. That's good. That's what we want. A bunch of takeaways. They've had more takeaways this spring than we've had collectively since we've been here, which is really good. And we know we're going with the ball, and they're doing a good job. They're sticking in some coverages. They're staying where they need to do discipline-wise. Bryce had a nice one there, which was good. And then Reggie did a great job there in that 2-minute drive, so just sneaking underneath that cement. So getting the ball away is a big priority for us.
The Rebels are 12 practices in and have 3 remaining, which are all close to the public. Their fall season kicks off at home at Allegiant Stadium against the Idaho State Bengals on September 3rd. Signing off for Rebel Report, I'm Jelani Watts.
We're excited to see what the Rebels bring to the field this fall. Thanks, Jelani.
This weekend, the softball Rebels hosted Utah State in a 3-game series. Nick Todorovich has more on the first 2 games.
The third-ranked Utah State Aggies walked into Eller Media Stadium looking to overtake the Rebels in the standings. In Game 1, UNLV ace Jenny Bressler was not messing around. Through 5 innings, she gave up 2 hits, 1 walk, but no runs. Then at the bottom of the 5th, one of the floodlights broke and the game was suspended. This was not an issue for Bressler or her teammates as they finished Game 1 Saturday afternoon with a 6-0 victory. Third baseman Lauren Barker had a huge game defensively, and she talked about the weird but unique experience of having the game suspended due to a lighting issue.
That was something that's never happened to me before, so it was pretty cool, that we were able to come out and still get the win in the first game, so that was nice.
In Game 2, it was Bressler on the mound again. In the second inning, she gave up a home run, which gave Utah State their first lead of the series. The offense would reply as April Visser had a 2-run RBI single to give UNLV the lead. But in the top of the 7th, with the game on the line, the Aggies managed to score 2 runs to take a 3-2 lead. UNLV couldn't storm a last-second comeback, and the series will be up for grabs Sunday. For Rebel Report, this has been Nicholas Todorovich.
The Rebels look to win their series on Sunday. Our reporter, Jesse Matuska, has more on the pivotal Game 3.
The third game of the series saw UNLV beat Utah State 2-1 in what was a tough-fought win for the Rebels. Tempers flared at the bottom of the 5th when UNLV head coach Christy Fox was sent off following an argument about a questionable call at home plate. UNLV starting pitcher Jenny Bressler notched her 19th win of the season following an impressive 10-strikeout performance. Next, UNLV heads to New Mexico to take on the Lobos. Reporting from Rebel Report, I'm Jesse Matuska.
Bressler's dominant performance earned her Mountain West Pitcher of the Week honors after striking out 22 batters in her first 3 outings this weekend.
For the first time in franchise history, the Vegas Golden Knights will not be playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
The Knights suffered 3 straight losses in a shootout that knocked them out of the playoff contention.
Vegas squandered a 4-2 lead last Sunday at home to the San Jose Sharks, falling 5-4 in a shootout.
And then on Tuesday, Vegas fell 3-2 to the Dallas Stars, one of the teams that they're competing with for the final playoff spot, also in a 7-round shootout.
The final nail in the Knights' playoff coffin came Wednesday night against the Chicago Blackhawks. Vegas trailed 2-1 after the first period. Alex Martinez found the back of the net early in the period to tie the game. Trailing 3-2 later in the period, Max Pacioretty tied the game with a few minutes to play. No goals were scored in the third period in overtime, and the game went into a shootout. Vegas missed on all 7 of their shots, and on Chicago's 7th attempt, Tyler Johnson put the puck past Vegas goalie Logan Thompson to secure the win. The Knights were officially eliminated from the playoffs after Dallas picked up a point in its overtime loss over the Arizona Coyotes.
Now on to our AHL hockey team and how they did this past week. Reporter Sydney Lum has more.
The Henderson Silver Knights went against the San Jose Barracuda this past Friday and won with a final score of 6-4. It was a late start to the game for both teams, with the Knights scoring first with less than 3 minutes left in the first period. Going into the second period, the Knights were leading 2-1. The Knights made 3 more goals in the second period, and San Jose made 1. This put Henderson at a comfortable lead going into the third. About halfway through the third, San Jose scored a goal trying to catch up to Henderson's lead, but the Knights answered shortly after. Alan Quinn and Gage Quinney led the Knights, with Quinney having 2 goals and Quinn having 1 goal and 2 assists.
I think that our last couple weeks have been really positive, and I think, like Gage said, we're just trying to make sure that we're on top of how we play and what we're doing the right things, so that we're ready to come around the playoffs.
This has been Sydney Lum with Rebel Report.
Thank you, Sydney. The Henderson Silver Knights have one final home game on April 30th against the Ontario Reign before the AHL playoffs begin in May.
Coming up on the rundown, I will be joined by Hector and Murad, where we will discuss the Las Vegas Lights' current performance in the NFL Draft.
Rebel Report UNLV.com has everything you're looking for when it comes to Las Vegas news, sports, and current events. All articles are written by a handful of talented local writers who keep up on everything Las Vegas, from UNLV athletics to Vegas Golden Knights, UFC, and many, many more. You can even view videos and photos from your favorite Las Vegas events in a special folder found on the site. So go check out rebelreport.com and see what we have to offer.
Are you a sports fan and want to keep up with your local sports?
Well, then listen up, because we have the perfect thing for you.
Welcome to Rebel Report, where we cover all things Las Vegas sports.
Soccer, we got it.
Baseball, we got it.
Football, we got it.
And basketball?
Well, you know the answer to that one.
Second round or undrafted, who's going to make it to the NBA?
I don't know. Ladies, I know they just won the Mountain West Conference. You said, do you think they're going to take it all the way?
I hope they do. I feel like they're bound to.
You guys, Rebel Report.
Hey, did you catch that UNLV game?
I did.
Oh, I had to work, so couldn't go.
You can always look it up on Rebel Report.
What's Rebel Report?
Rebel Report is a 30-minute sports program on PBS, YouTube, and Facebook. They cover all UNLV sports.
Oh, is that it?
They also cover sports all across Las Vegas.
Oh, I'll make sure to subscribe. Oh, it's 3:30. We gotta get to class.
Welcome to the rundown. I'm joined by Murad Omesh and Hector Salomon. So guys, how do you think the Lights are doing so far this season?
The Lights have been brilliant this season. I mean, they're off on the franchise best start in their history in the first 8 games. They have Daniel Trejo, who's been tearing it up. He's a top goal scorer and top assist maker in the league right now. They sit at a comfortable place in the table. They've been underdog. They've been an underdog in nearly every game this season, and they've just been brilliant. I mean, I've enjoyed watching them this season. They're competing with some really strong teams. They were doing really bad in the first couple of seasons. Last season they had a really long losing streak, but they came out this season with a whole new different mentality, and they're just tearing it up. They've been doing amazing.
Yeah, good points, Murad. I mean, you're the soccer expert. You would definitely know more than I do. The Lights have definitely been turning it around, especially since their finish last year. I think it was 6-23. They've already got 4 wins this season. That's already 2/3 of their win total from last year, with over 25 games left to go. I think the owner, Brett Lashbrook, has done a great job sort of establishing Las Vegas roots within the soccer community. I think that, since he was one of the pivotal people that helped the Orlando FC transition from the USL to the MLS, I think he could do a little bit of the same with the Lights. I know that the new coach, Enrique Duran, has been doing a great job with the team, especially since he left working with Barcelona. He's continuing the program that Steve Cherundolo left. So I think that, pretty soon, and I mean, Amish, you might tell us more than, Murad, you might be able to tell us better than I can. Are we supposed to be seeing an MLS team in the future, maybe in Las Vegas?
Oh, yeah. There's been talks about an MLS team coming to Vegas in 2023. I'm pretty sure Vegas is on the map for that. I'm very hopeful of that. I mean, we've been getting all types of teams in Vegas since a couple of years ago. A new hockey team, football team, women's basketball team. There's now talks for an NBA team and an MLS team. So I'd love to see an MLS team come to Vegas. The Las Vegas Lights right now are an expansion team for the LAFC. They signed an official contract. They've been getting a lot of their academy players. They've been using those academy players to tear it up in the USL Championship. So I feel like, Vegas deserves a USL team, whether it be the Las Vegas Lights or another expansion team. I feel like they're definitely worthy.
Yeah, and I think,
well, to finish that one off, guys, we kind of want to bring it over to football. So with the NFL draft happening this weekend, how do you guys think Vegas is going to treat the draft? How do you think the fans are going to be for the draft?
They're going to put on quite a show for the NFL, especially since this is the first one that's happening live in Las Vegas, and I think that Las Vegas wants to be, one of the main cities where we host drafts, Super Bowls, maybe even the Combine at some point in the future. I mean, this is just part of Las Vegas's transition into becoming the sports capital of the world. We're supposed to be seeing an F1 race soon. They're going to transform the Strip into a racing track. I mean, I can't wait to see that. With everything else that's been going on with the A's, potentially moving here as well, I think that it's just the next step in Las Vegas really becoming not just the sports capital of America, but really the world.
No, yeah, I'm ecstatic for that. I mean, it's we're getting the draft in Las Vegas. They're getting really creative with it. They're doing it in the middle of the Bellagio fountains. They're having a little ferry transfer the players from the floor to the stage, and I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, we're getting really creative with all this sports stuff. We're having a race on the Strip. Everything is being on the Strip, and it's just transitioning from being a tourist site to a sports tourist site. And it's just really exciting that we're living the way we're living to see it. I feel like in a couple of years, it's going to be really big. We're having, I believe, the Frozen 4 in 2026. We're just having all these events. We just had the Pro Bowl in Vegas. So I feel like over the years, Vegas is going to expand and it's going to grow as a major sports city.
Absolutely. And I think carrying over from your first point, if we can build the Lights a proper soccer stadium here in 2026 when we host the World Cup, I think we might be able to even see Las Vegas as one of the host cities, which I think would be tremendous, not only for tourism, but for the sports culture of the city.
Oh my God, if we get a World Cup in Las Vegas, that'll be unbelievable, man. I mean, it's been my dream since a kid to see a World Cup, so that'll be just unbelievable. That'll be amazing.
And I can tell you from personal experience that with the last World Cup, even though the games were being played really early in the morning for Pacific time, the sports books were filled with people that not only wanted to watch, but wanted to gamble. And I'm sure that if we have some of the games here and we're bringing up fans from all over the world, we can get a lot of gambling and a lot of attention to the city.
100%.
Well, that was great, guys. Thank you for joining me today. I think Vegas as a whole culture for sports, too, is going to completely turn around. I'm really excited to see what this brings to us. And that's all we have for this week's rundown. I'll send it back to Jamie at the front desk.
Up next, we will be getting to know a Rebel, Alyssa Brown, from the Mountain West champion Lady Rebels.
Tired of endless scrolling through sports shows that don't talk about your Vegas teams? Haven't found the right sports show for you?
I just wish there was a show that focused on Vegas sports.
There is.
Really?
It's called The Rebel Report.
What is Rebel Report?
The Rebel Report is a UNLV sports show run by UNLV students that covers everything Vegas sports. To Golden Knights hockey, to Raiders football, to UNLV softball, the Rebel Report has it all.
You don't have to tell me twice. I'm watching right now.
You can watch the Rebel Report on YouTube and Facebook. And for more sports news, follow the Rebel Report on Twitter.
Hey, Alex, you ready to record the podcast?
Yeah, Barry, I'm ready. Let's get it going.
All right, sounds good. In 3, 2, 1. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Rebel Report podcast for another edition of What They Did Right with Alex Wright. I'm Brandon Steele talking UNLV football. Alex, what did you think of last week's game? Alex?
Oh,
Alex?
my bad, Brandon. I was looking up on Rebel Report's website. They got a ton of new content. VGK, the Raiders, Golden Knights, UNLV football. They got a ton of stuff, new articles that just were published today.
All right, man. Sounds good. No worries. So I guess we'll go ahead and just redo the intro for our podcast. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Rebel Report podcast. I am Brandon Steele alongside Alex Wright for another edition of What They Did Right. How you doing today, Alex? Alex, you good, man? What's going on?
Oh, my bad, Brandon. I just saw they posted the latest episode of Rebel Report. It's up right now on their YouTube page and their Facebook page.
Oh, a new episode's out now?
Yeah.
All right. So we might have to wrap this up and go watch that episode then.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. Get caught up on what's happening at UNLV and Las Vegas sports, then get back to our podcast. Make sure it gets posted on the Rebel Report website.
Well, then listen up, because we have the perfect thing for you.
Welcome to Rebel Report, where we cover all things Las Vegas sports.
Soccer, we got it.
Baseball, we got it.
Football, we got it.
And basketball?
Well, you know the answer to that one. Now it's time to learn some new things about one of our UNLV athletes here on campus. This Rebel is part of the UNLV women's basketball team.
Here is Kimia Oliver with more on getting to know this Rebel.
Thanks, Lexi and Jamie. For this week's edition of Getting to Know That Rebel, I had a chance to catch up with Alyssa Brown, a forward on the Lady Rebels. Let's take a look. Hey everyone, and welcome to Getting to Know That Rebel. Today we have basketball player Alyssa. So for the fans to know, what do you like to do outside of basketball?
I like to journal, hot yoga, spend a lot of time with my teammates, and love to swim.
What is your major here at UNLV?
Currently finance, but I am looking to change it to sports management.
How did you feel when you guys made it to the NCAA tournament?
It was a great way to start my freshman year. I had a lot of fun. It was like, it's always our dream to make it that far. And when you grow up wanting to play Division I basketball, that's kind of your goal, is to make it there.
So what are you planning to do after college?
After college, I do want to own my own gym, so that's kind of why I'm going to change my major to sports management. I want to give back to the community in some way. Vegas has done a lot for me since I've been here in this short amount of time, so definitely going to look for ways to give back.
Thank you, Alyssa, and that'll be it for Getting to Know That Rebel. Thank you, Alyssa. We can't wait to see how the Lady Rebels will do next season. Let's send it back to Lexi at the desk.
Up next, another UNLV team will be heading to the NCAA tournament. Plus, we will check in on other sports across the Las Vegas Valley.
Second round or undrafted, who's going to make it to the NBA?
I don't know. Ladies, I know they just won the Mountain West Conference League. Do you think they're going to take it all the way?
I hope they do. I feel like they're bound to. You guys, Rebel Report.
Rebel Report is your go-to place for coverage of sports all over Las Vegas, providing stories and content you won't find anywhere else.
I'm Jelani Watts.
And I'm Hector Solomon.
And that's all for Rebel Report. We'll see you next time.
And cut.
I got 2 minutes to get to the Mac Center before the game starts.
Tired of endless scrolling through sports shows that don't talk about your Vegas teams? Haven't found the right sports show for you?
I just wish there was a show that focused on Vegas sports.
There is.
Really?
It's called The Rebel Report.
What is Rebel Report?
The Rebel Report is a UNLV sports show run by UNLV students that covers everything Vegas sports. To Golden Knights hockey, to Raiders football, to UNLV softball, the Rebel Report has it all.
You don't have to tell me twice. I'm watching right now.
You can watch the Rebel Report on YouTube and Facebook. And for more sports news, follow the Rebel Report on Twitter.
Jillian visited the Las Vegas ballpark in Summerlin to watch the Aviators take on the Chihuahuas of El Paso. Here she is with more.
The Las Vegas Aviators take on another 6-game homestand at the Las Vegas ballpark against the El Paso Chihuahuas. Here's how the series went.
The Aviators and Chihuahuas split the series, each winning 3 games. This is Vegas's first time facing El Paso this season, and they will not see the Chihuahuas again until mid-June in an away series. Some highlights of the weekend include a home run from Dalton Kelly at 429 feet, an over-the-third base wall foul ball catch by Machine, and an RBI double by Fernandez, as well as A's outfielder Ramon Laureano joining the Aviators as a part of his rehab assignment. Next up, the Aviators will take on Tacoma in another 6-game series at home, with special giveaways like a Bluetooth speaker and Star Wars night that you won't want to miss.
The Aviators played the second game in their 6-game series last night at Las Vegas Ballpark. Here's Connor with more.
The Las Vegas Aviators host the Tacoma Rainiers for their second game of a 6-game series. Let's take a look at what happened.
After the 12-5 loss Tuesday night against Tacoma, Las Vegas looks to rebound Wednesday evening. The Aviators put up the first run of the game on a bases-loaded walk. Then a costly error in the top of the fourth allowed Tacoma to pull in front 3-1. After the Rainiers tacked another run on in the top of the fifth, Las Vegas came back strong, plating 4 runs to take a 5-4 lead, with the highlight of Shea Langeliers homering the center field. The Rainiers tied it up in the top of the 8th on another error, but Las Vegas got a clutch run, with J.J. Schwartz hitting the go-ahead single. Sam Selman came in for the save opportunity and converted, closing out the game and giving the Aviators the 6-5 win over Tacoma. Here's what a fan has to say about the victory Wednesday night.
Fantastic. I mean, that comeback win was phenomenal. They really gave it their all.
I also asked Spruce what his thoughts were on the game tonight, and he provided a great response.
You think they're going to play the rest of the series very well? That's what I like to hear.
That's it for this game. They got 4 more against the Tacoma Rainiers and then head off to Sacramento. I'm Connor Torres reporting from Rebel Report. Go Rebs.
We're looking forward to the rest of the series. Thanks, Connor.
The Lights faced off against LA Galaxy 2 this past Saturday. Here's Murad Omage with more.
I'm here at Cashman Field where the Las Vegas Lights just faced off against LA Galaxy 2.
The Las Vegas Lights faced off against LA Galaxy 2 in their last game of a 3-game homestand. The Lights opened the scoring with a beautiful long shot goal from captain Daniel Cristosimo
in the first half. The Lights held on to the lead until the last 15 minutes when the Galaxy scored off a headed cross, which sealed the game as a 1-1 tie. This was the first tied game for the Lights in this season. Here's Coach Enrique Duran on the team's focus moving forward.
What we are talking since the beginning of the season is that the team needs to be ready to compete. No, that's what we are going to be just trying to do in the next two games. Of course, that we are going to be trying to win these games, but competing is the main word that we are using right now, because we think that is the only way that we have just to get closer to the results that we would like to get in the weekend. I think that that's important, but we just need to think about tomorrow and about what is going to be happening in the next game.
The Lights are back on the road next Saturday, April 30th, to face off against Sacramento Republic at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Make sure to catch this game on ESPN+. From Rebel Report, this is Murad Omesh.
The UNLV women's golf team is heading to the NCAA tournament. On Wednesday, the Rebels were selected to the NCAA tournament field as a large team in the Stanford region beginning May 9th. The Rebels won 3 tournaments as a team over the course of the season. This is the first time since the Rebels have made the tournament since 2018. That will do it for this episode of Rebel Report.
Thank you for watching.